Welcome, everybody, to the Tapped Out Podcast Network. I'm Nick McDaniel. He's Jacked Jameson. Yes, he's our full-time, co-host now here on the Tapped In, but it's a loaded house here at the Tapped In Podcast as we are once again joined by Rosario Grillo. What's going on, my man?
Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, get your flu shots, okay? The Big Cannoli had maybe a poison cannoli and had flu A for the last 2-3 weeks. It's the worst sickness I've ever had. Get your flu shots, ladies and gentlemen. This was brutal.
Kept you out of action for a while, didn't it?
I'm still not even 100%. That was easily the worst 2 weeks of being sick I've ever had. I haven't had the chance to wrestle all year. I've been out of work all year. I know that's only 20 days, but it sounds better when you say all year.
I agree. What are you guys doing to him, man? Like, somebody needs to take care of him better. I mean, you know what I mean, man?
That's last time I checked, that's Esquire's job, not mine.
Listen, Jameson, he's the one that puts us on. Esquire's the one that's got to go do. He got to get me the cold medicine. He's got to get me the cough drops, the tissues, the Vicks, the Lipton tea.
That's right. If I hang out with Cartello Grillo, I'm just eating cannolis with Hayden in the background. I'm not part of the group, so I don't have to do any of the work. No offense, girls. I know.
Hey, understandable, my friend. You got your own group to worry about.
Yeah, and they're a handful. So
they are a handful.
Listen, we're going to get into some stuff. While you've been gone, there's been a lot of stuff going on, let's just say. A lot of problems that maybe you need to help address here when you come back. But we're going to jump into that in a little bit when we get into our headline segment. But before we do that, we want to remind everybody, make sure you're checking us out not only on YouTube, not only on Spotify, not only on Amazon Podcast, not only on Apple Podcast, but also on our Patreon page, patreon.com/tappedoutpod. Get the shows early, get the show notes. You can get we're now doing the Indy Rewind, making the drives in a written format on there for you. You're going to get digital collectibles, physical all that autograph, all that stuff we always talk about. Patreon.com/tappedoutpod. But look, man, let's jump right into the news. But before we do, go ahead.
Oh, wait, real quick. You get so much stuff with this page. That's become like a minute-long segment now. I thought we were off screen for forever. You get so much shit with this.
And like you said, guys, you can sign up for free. You get stuff for free. What place gives you free stuff nowadays?
I mean, we're putting out reviews for TV shows, for PLEs, pay-per-views. They're all coming out. That's all free now. That was something we charged for last year, and we decided to go to that for free as well this year. So there's just so much content for free that's out there, whether you're on the national level fan, you're an indie level guy here at Georgia, and you want to keep up with all the shows and all that. That's all there for free, like you said. All the extra stuff, that's what you're paying for if you want to help. By the way, it helps help me keep up with the rising salary cap of our roster that we have here at the Tapped Out Podcast Network. So that's why you want to sign up. If you want to keep seeing the roster grow, that's where those funds come from our Patreon at patreon.com/tappedoutpod. Hey, before we get into a little wrestling, Grillo, you might want to sit out for a minute. We're going to talk a little football. I mean, you're a Jets fan, so that really doesn't count this time.
Listen, a lot of teams have had a lot of problems going on in the playoffs, okay? I'm pretty sure our co-host here hasn't had an enjoyable playoffs either.
Listen, we're moving on. The Sabres are killing it right now. So we've adjusted to hockey season. We're in full swing here. Let's go Sabres.
There you go.
And listen, I do want to address this real quick. I did put it out there that I thought maybe it would be time to move on from McDermott. And he is the winningest coach in Buffalo history. He's like the best coach in Buffalo history. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL over the last few years, highest winning percentage or whatever it is. He did great. I do think it's okay to fire him and move on because it's been a while now and they haven't gotten the job done. So if you want to try something different, that's okay. But the problem is they kept Brandon Beane, and not only did they keep Brandon Beane the GM, they gave him a fucking promotion. Are you kidding me? There's a common problem since Terry Pagula has taken over as owner, and his name is Brandon fucking Beane. And you keep giving him raises and promotions every year. It's not the coaches, because the coaches do what they do. but yeah, it's beat, and he's using everybody as a scapegoat. He's used every coach that I'm all right. I'm gonna end it now because this will become the Buffalo Tapped In podcast.
Hey,
Have you
some
thought about
guys.
considering throwing your name in for head coaching?
No, like I said, I got my hands full with these three
Frat,
schmucks, the
hat that.
frat house. They just recently they all got a little wild, and it took about a week to handle things and make sure they didn't end up in jail. So we'll see. We'll see. Down the line, maybe I'll become the Bills head coach. I think that's something I could do in the future. But for now, I gotta take care of these frat house boys.
Real quick, because I want to ask this question, because we're going to get into the wrestling, folks, we promise. Did the Bills' job jump to the front of the line as the hottest job because you've got Josh Allen? Hold on, because there is another one. I would argue I get where Pittsburgh is right now, but I still think here's why I think it's a good job. The ownership's stable. They don't make rash decisions. You can know if you go in there, you probably have a little bit of a leeway to kind of build your team and stuff.
Well, they don't like spending money, but yeah.
There is that. However, here's the one that's to compete. Is the Baltimore job the competitive job with Buffalo? Because it boil down to it's Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. I'll let you who. I mean, obviously you're biased, right? I mean, Jack, you know who it's going to be, right? It's going to be the Buffaloes. Grillo, which one's the better job for you?
So here's the thing. I don't think Lamar is going to be there by the start of the season. I think he'll be on a new team. So I think that job becomes less attractive. Plus, I don't know. I just think when you have the established quarterback, Lamar has been not healthy the last few years. We've seen he goes down quite frequently. But also, Buffalo tends to not give Josh Allen any receiver help. I mean, he had a couple scrubs out there. You're bringing in Brandon Cooks as the savior, and that's never the good thing, especially when you're going in the playoffs. It also depends on who Baltimore gets for the coaches. Derrick Henry is still one of the best running backs in the league, but he's not getting any younger. Mark Andrews is old. If I'm not mistaken, isn't DeAndre Hopkins on the Ravens, or was he on the Chiefs? I can't remember where he was playing. I think he was a Raven. He's getting old. So it's like, I don't know. I would say Buffalo, but also if you take the Buffalo job, you also now have to worry about the powerhouse, unfortunately, of New England. And I can't believe we have to sit through that again. They're going to get a cakewalk to the Super Bowl. I can't watch another Patriots Super Bowl. I can't.
It may end up.
Yeah. But listen, so Josh Allen's the easy way to go when you're looking at why you want to go there. Let's not forget James Cook is the NFL rushing leader. So, you have two of the best offensive weapons in the league.
I heard a great argument, late last night I was listening to one of the podcasts, and somebody made a great argument that the Bills having no weapons is it kind of a myth that's been put out there because they've got a couple good tight ends. They
don't have receivers.
You're getting Coleman back. I'm not saying Coleman's the answer, but you're going to get him back.
He dropped a pass right in his hands.
But it happens to the best of them. Is next year a year that he maybe steps up? Or do they go out? Are they going to draft? That's where they got to go, right? They got to draft some receivers, and then they'll be right.
If there's no big names in the free agent stuff, but they need a veteran too, a good veteran in there, and they just. The receivers has always been. I mean, Eric Moulds is my guy, back in the day, but that receivers has always been an issue. Really, they had Diggs, and
we also had
don't work.
Probably
we got Terrell Owens right before he was about to retire. We had the
Jesus.
Well, you're going to unfortunately probably see a Patriot Super Bowl. Bo Nix out. You're going to get Jared Stidham as the quarterback.
Maybe we'll get Belichick. I heard he wants to come back to the NFL. If we get Belichick in Buffalo, new stadium, new coach, Josh Allen is finally the biggest baby face in all of the NFL. Wins the Super Bowl. Redemption. Book it, baby.
Give the guy the pen.
Well, that absolutely would be a headline if Bill Belichick announced that. So let's just segue right into this week as we look at Georgia Indy Wrestling, and we kind of go hey, guys know the new routine. We just look at the headlines. We don't go detail by detail on all the shows anymore. We just hit those highlights. And let's start with something that's going to hit a little close to home to one Rosario Grillo. We got to ask you, man. So I'm at Southern Fried, and we'll get into some of that a little bit as far as everything that went on there. But I'm at Southern Fried, and I see your friends, your pals, the Crusade, turn their back
Allegedly.
on Hunter James. Joey Hyder's not happy about it. Joey Hyder's basically calling him out. I don't know if you heard what he had to say, but he said that it's, Hunter drops the ball, drops the title, but they're going to bring it back. They'll get it back for him. But then him and Pat Roach just basically attack Hunter James. Like, you want to throw anything in here?
Allegedly, I saw the footage. It looked like there must have been a bee on Hunter, and we all know Hunter's highly allergic to bees. I don't know what the hell's going on. Hunter's not returning my calls. Joey's not returning my calls. Has anyone seen Teo? Is he even alive? I have no idea what's going on. I tried to get Christian Taylor to help Hunter keep the title. Hunter flipped out at me, banned me from the last couple shows, so I haven't been there. No one's answering my calls. I have no idea what's going on. I saw some of the footage. Listen, brothers fight. Brothers fight. That's what happens. Okay? Sometimes you come to heads. There's a lot of personalities in the Crusade. But it's like we always say, the Crusade is forever. I don't know if they're screening my calls. I got to talk to Hunter. We got to figure this out. We got to get back to where we were and get back on track. Me and Pat got to get the tag titles back. Hunter's got to get his title back. And you know what? Screw it. We're going to get the world title back too. We're going to get the heavyweight championship. We're going to bring that to the Crusade. So I don't know what's going on with these guys. We're going to have to try and sit down. If they allow me in next show, if Hunter lets me in the building, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me tell you something, girls. You're better off without him. I tell you, get yourself one of those lead cannolis and.
I don't know if I want to go that route yet. It's not a bad idea. I don't know. I'm heartbroken to see the boys fight. I mean, the only person I can get to answer the calls is our women's champion, but that's only because we sleep in the same room. So and she doesn't have any answers either.
Look, Grillo, I know you're kind of trying to defend this a little bit, but I got to ask you, dude, it was pretty cut and dry. I mean, Pat, hugged it out for a second, and the next thing you know, he's belly-to-belly suplexing, Hunter, and they're putting the boots to him. The only person, by the way, they're putting the beating on him so bad, the only person that seems to be joining his side is, for the longest time, his rival, Dominic Stuckey. By the way, I got to ask you this. I don't know if you saw, Matt Henkins shows up at Southern Fried and seems like he's trying to get involved in Dominic Stuckey's, and that's a wild card to this mix that you don't even like. It's something even new.
Listen, a side note: Georgia wrestling is better when Matt Henkins is involved. So I am happy to see him back. Like I said, he was a big part of me starting out in Georgia. He gave me my first booking here. He allowed me to get better and become what I am today. So I owe a lot to Matt Henkins, and I'm happy to see him back. I am not happy to see him use his poor judgment and try and coerce Dominic into joining him. Maybe he can come to the Crusade. We clearly need some help. He's offering help and fixing things for Dom. Screw Dom. Apparently we need the help. So I don't know, man.
Jameson, I'm going to ask you. I said, look, I had a conversation. I did man it somehow, pull Dominic Stuckey aside and, after the show and said, listen, I know Henkins has been supportive of you in the past, but when you're asking, can you trust Matt Henkins? My answer was simple. Dom, I can only go based on the information that I have in history. That answer is saying, if I was a betting man, my answer would be no. I don't trust Matt Henkins if I'm Dominic Stuckey. But hey, everybody changes. Everybody can change if they want to. Maybe he has. Maybe he's turned a new, whatever you want to call it. I just don't trust him. So that's my take on it.
I mean, he could have like a master plan where he's planning on screwing somebody over, but that somebody doesn't necessarily have to be Dominic. It could be the Crusade and Grillo. Maybe he's coming for Grillo.
Are we already getting screwed enough?
You can never get screwed enough, buddy.
Yeah, I look. I will argue what I said a little bit. Henkins did help Dom. I'm not saying he did not assist him on that night, But I just said be careful because history shows he's not always as trustworthy as you would hope. But again, maybe the time away, maybe he's a changed man, maybe he's trying to, do the right thing now moving forward and help these young talents in a positive way. So, look, Matt Henkins.
Maybe it's not a positive way. Maybe he's trying to help these young talents in a negative way, where it's for his benefit and their benefit, and fuck everybody else, like the unfortunately Crusade and Southern Fried as a whole. Maybe they're coming in to invade. Who knows?
That could be the case. Look, it's not going to be the last time we talk about Dominic Stuckey on the show and so forth and so on. But I actually do have to ask you. Look, the bad news coming out of Southern Fried.
Oh, cool! More bad news out of Southern Fried. Great.
I do. Obviously it is public. He put it out on social media. Pat Roach strained his MCL, PCL. No timetable on his return. Good news is no tears apparently in the knee. That's what as of the last, as of recording here. So that's at least a little good news out of it, maybe. But there's still no timetable on his return. So kind of dampens and puts, kind of hinders the Crusade a little bit, wouldn't you say? Because you were talking about tag titles. Well, that doesn't look to be in your near future with Pat Roach on the shelf for a little while.
First of all, there's many members of the Crusade. We can easily freebird it. Yeah, that sucks. That's a blow. As a friend, as my tag partner, as one of my best friends, that hurts. I hate to see that for him. Injuries for anyone in wrestling, you hate to see that. Listen, it took me 2 years to get back. So if anyone knows leg injuries, it's me. So I get it. Pat's a big man. He's a strong man. So I'm hoping that whatever timetable he was given, he's going to smash it. Like you said, we talked about going after those tag team titles and getting them back. Let's not forget, Pat and I are also former tag champs at GCW as well. So, there's a few things we got to get back to when I'm healthy and Pat's healthy. The best thing we can do now is just continue to hope that, the swelling goes down, there's no tears, and he's able to come back sooner than expected. Best wishes to you, buddy. I know, we've been talking every day, but yeah, I mean, are we going to get any positive news in this show? This just seems like, a gut punch.
It's never good an injury, but I've torn my MCL. I had a grade 2 tear, and I was only out for like 2-3 months. So it's not. I mean, it sucks and it's time off, but it's not like the longest injury. Especially if there's no tear, it shouldn't be too long. So don't worry, girls. You'll get your buddy back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is why I like to come on with Jameson. He provides the positivity. That we've had 2 negative stories in a row, 3 negative stories if you count the Bills.
Wow.
Well,
Sabres.
Look,
Go Sabres.
Let's get into some good news. I guess it's all perspective if this is good news or not. We talked about it a little bit last week. Nick Halen is the actual first person to be a Triple Crown winner simultaneously as he captured the SCA title on Friday. So now he is your SCA heavyweight champion, your Friday night champion, and one half of the tag team champions, all in one promotion. That's a headline. I mean, we talked about it last week. Like, no matter what promotion you're in, whatever it is, for one guy to hold essentially all of the titles at the promotion at one time, it's a pretty big feat, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
I would agree. I think Nick. I've said it many times. Nick's one of the best wrestlers in Georgia. So this isn't really a shock. I mean, 3 titles at once. That's crazy. His suitcase has got to be insanely heavy.
I mean, listen, it's, they put a picture up. He's got, the one around the main title, the SCA title around his waist, tag on one side, Friday night title on the other side, carrying 3, carrying a promotion essentially at this point as, their top guy across the board. I think it's arguably, though, it's not even about the feat of doing it. Like, who thinks to do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, one guy's usually like, because here's what happens. Now I was asking somebody, I'm like, hey, so what happens on Friday? Because they run every Friday. What if he has 2 guys that are number 1 contenders that are both like, hey, I deserve my shot tonight. I deserve my shot tonight. Does he have to do both in one night? Well, what about all 3 of them in one night? Because you can't, like, how do you not have a show and, like, all the titles, not on the line, right? Come on. When you're running that kind of thing, the pressure and the pressure that comes with carrying those 3 titles at one night, the question becomes every Friday at SCA, he's got to deliver and maybe in multiple matches in one evening. I mean, you know what I mean, Jameson? That's a lot to carry.
Yeah. I mean, he might have to get himself some belt boys or something. I know a little bit about that. I was a belt boy for Mercedes. those titles start to add up. There's only so many places you can hold them by yourself. So we'll see if Nick Halen starts adding some more titles. Give me a call. I got some experience as a belt boy.
I don't think in Georgia locker rooms it's hard to find a couple guys, right, to carry the gold out. There's usually a couple guys hanging around that will do that. Also, we've been talking a little bit about Kraken behind the scenes, and I know, it's funny. You're the guy, dude. You've been hitting me up talking about Kraken and how much you're just diving into
That's
binge
right.
watching it.
I think I need a little intro for this. I think we gotta get us like Jameson gets it cracking or something.
I like that. That's a good Kraken. We're cracking with Jameson, or something like that.
Cracking
Yeah,
with Jameson, something. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I love the crack. We talked about this last night at the show. Just the Kraken episodes, man. They're just a half an hour. They move quick. It's easy to watch. I told you, there were some other shows I was looking up. I see like a lot of them are like 2.5 hours. I just don't have the time to commit to that. But the Kraken, a nice short half hour is great. Couple things I noticed. I did see recently in a couple matches that open immediately with the heel just hitting a finisher on the face, covering the face kicks out, and then they just go into like a normal 10-minute match. Not a fan of that, but that's just something I've noticed, and but I don't really whatever. I did want to quick drip when you guys come out. I love that energy that I see from you guys. The last match, it was a little less in the upfront. I would personally like to see you guys go balls to the wall and just spend all your energy on that swag surf and entrance. And that's I've been told. If you got them on your entrance, you got them. You don't really need to do much more after that. So I mean, just shine up on that entrance, hit that swag surfing, get the crowd rocking and rolling, and you guys should be good to go from there. Um, what else did we have, Nick? There was something else.
Pre-tapes. You love the pre-tape stuff.
Oh, yes, the pre-tapes. Sometimes I feel like they can go a little long. If you guys can just tighten those up a little bit, I think would help go a long way to really get the point across and hold the attention of the fans to get the message drilled home. But those are, they're good. They're just a little long, I think. But yeah, Kraken killing it still. That tag title tournament. I told you that's what brought me in originally, and they're rocking and rolling on that right now. So it's been good. More Kraken. Get it cracking, baby.
And remember, you're binge watching the older stuff, catching up, and you're getting rolling into there. And it's I always tell everybody, I think it's a great jump in because you could literally, like you said, you could binge almost a season, like a whole year almost, just because you're next thing you know, you're the 30 minutes. And then the next thing you know, you're like, wait, I have watched 2.5 and 3 hours of it, just back to back
Yeah.
to back to back.
Yeah.
And you're like, I could have watched one of the others, but I just don't want to make the commitment that I'm going to jump into 2.5 hours. So
Yeah, I only do cardio on the stationary bike for about half an hour. So it's Kraken's perfect for that. And then I go do my workout.
hey, that's kind of that's what we love about Kraken. Again, might not be the last time we discuss Kraken as well on this episode. Last but not least, in the headlines, GPW, they ran up in Jasper for a couple months. There was some conflict with basketball schedule, so they were running a different venue outside, but they've got back into their gym venue that they did really well in, and apparently did really well again now that they're back inside in the gym venue. And look, don't take our word for it, right? Not mine. I mean, Jacked Jameson, you were in the house firsthand.
I was, yeah. Yeah, man, it was great. It was a big show. There was a lot of people there. Um, I had fun. I bought a ticket. I showed up at 7 o'clock. I bought a ticket. I stayed out of the locker room. I was there as a journalist, as I mentioned to Vari, which that popped Vari pretty good. He kept laughing about that for about 2 days. But yeah, man, it was a great show. They opened up with a tag match, and that was good. Superstars were heavily featured on the show, which those are my guys. I love seeing them do anything. Super entertaining. Trevor Blackwell is a superstar there himself. That crowd loves him. Vari and Warden had a match, and those two can effortlessly, without talking or they could be blindfolded. They'll put on match of the night every time, and it was match of the night, in my opinion. Vari and Warden, they kill it, and um, Cameron and Kelsey had a match that was really good. Cameron actually ended up. Riley Judah was out there. Cameron didn't even need her help. She beat Kelsey clean in the middle there. So big win for her, and that she cut a little promo after the match, and that crowd seems to really hate her. So she's been doing a good job there, getting heat and pissing those fans off.
Had to ask you your firsthand experience of JD Inc. versus Matt Sells for that TV title.
Matt Sells, baby. He hit the devil's kiss on JD not only once but twice, giving the fans what they want. They were he hit that devil's kiss, and I don't know what he calls it, but and me and Vari did agree that he does it better than Stephanie McClure. So, for the record, it was interesting seeing JD hated by so many people. That was different for me. At the One Fall shows, he's so loved by everyone. So to see him, I didn't even realize. I was like, what's happening? Like when he made his entrance, I was like confused.
Yeah, they absolutely hate him there. Yeah, he's just attitude change. Yeah.
To be fair, I hate JD Inc. every show that he goes to, and every show that I'm on with him. So that makes you feel anything.
But yeah, it was GPW was cool. That's I started there. I did a couple shows there back in the day. Yeah, it was good to go hang out and see something from an outside perspective, not as one of the boys in the locker room, but as a fan and as a journalist.
GPW was old PSS.
Call me Jacked Jameson, baby.
There you go. Obviously that show was highlighted, main evented. Josh Cantrell, Josh Fitz, he's the owner of the old place that they were running. They had the big thing that kind of they had their street fight to end it. Hopefully, it looks like Josh Cantrell comes on top. Guitar shots, that's a thing. So Josh Cantrell wins, of course, by your buddy Warden helping out a little bit of the assist. But hopefully, look, they're going to be back. I think they're going to be back in there in February in the gym again. So kudos on them, man, to draw a huge crowd there that night. Made the papers and everything. But I did, again, it's kind of weird to have somebody back again out on the road giving those other perspectives. So I really appreciate the time. I know there's lots of things you could be doing on a weekend, putting in that time. I appreciate it. While I was over at Southern Fried getting all of the bad news for Grillo, that news that was coming out of there.
Oh, bring it up again.
Yeah, man, you were sitting in that cloud of negativity. Meanwhile, I was sitting up in the stands with Vari, and we were just eating some pizza and watching some fun wrestling.
Well, look, there's some good stuff that happened. I mean, hey, it does, come out of there. Although, honestly, not much. I mean, there was a lot of, from a Grillo perspective, it would be a lot of bad news. The big story coming out of there, other than what we've already
perspective that matters is Grillo's,
It's true. News coming out of there is at the next show, Jacob Ashworth will take on Billy Buck. If Jacob wins, he will get the title shot he claims he's been deserving for years. If he loses, David Manders gets his hands and gets a match with John the Body Johnson. So that's obviously huge stakes. Going forward at Southern Fried with everything that's going on. But more importantly, again, I'm not going to dig it. We're not going to go back down that rabbit hole. But more importantly, what's going on with the Crusade? How is Dominic Stuckey involved? How is Mate Henkins involved? That's really your highlight, your, top story that we got to ask when we come to the headlines in Georgia Wrestling this past weekend. Southern Fried, what's going on? And obviously, Grillo, going forward, you'll probably front and center in all of this mix at some point if someone returns your phone calls.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. Like, what's the point of even going back? Everybody just hates each other now, and we were supposed to be a group and win all these titles, and now we have no titles except for the women's title. But Cat beat every women's wrestler that they have at Southern Fried. It's a lot, man. I don't even know. It's a lot for...
Yeah, I hate seeing my buddy in distress like this. He's been so down since we came on this morning.
Just a lot of negativity with the Crusade right now. That's not what you want.
Crusade, the Jets, your life is
we can leave the Jets.
Just poison cannoli. God, all the things you love are turning on you.
Story of my life, man. Story of my life.
Jeez.
Life did
It's a
heel turn.
rough start of a year, man. That's what I'll tell you. Rough start of the year, but and look, hey, start of the years also can be just like we had a conversation over the weekend at one of the shows I was at about rough starts to the year. What I mean by that, you're starting the year off. Obviously, if you run at the beginning of the month, it's New Year's. If you're running, because you've got the playoffs, you've got college national championships, you end up at the Super Bowl now, spills into February now. Scheduling shows get dicey, and I wanted to ask you guys, because you guys are really involved across the state. I wanted to ask. Conversation turned into like, how difficult is it? We talk about it all the time with like the big national shows. They're running. They've got their TV shows, but it's AEW's affected by basketball when the play. A lot when it comes around. They're running Mondays, and that's Monday Night Football, etc. All these things come into play, and it was like, but at the indie level, it still kind of has a conversation when you're running shows, and it's like, oh, by the way, there's a PLE on, or there's a pay-per-view tonight, and you're running shows. Like, I wanted to ask you guys, from being on that side of the fence, like, how difficult is that? Because you're no longer just competing with, hey, it's another wrestling show running. It feels like now the entertainment dollar as a whole seems like, as a budget and a family is bundled together. Like, hey, if there's a big fair in town, like that pulls from the indie show too, because that's the family's got to choose, right? Like, I'll start with you, Jameson. Like, how does the company see that when they're looking at it, or the boys see it when you're like, we're competing not just with wrestling, we're competing with a fair that's in town or something that simple?
Yeah. I mean, I think fans of, if you're a fan of a specific indie wrestling show, you're probably going to make most shows. And then as far as like they have streaming now, you can watch the pay-per-views and the TV shows whenever. You don't have to watch them live anymore. So you can always get caught up on them. And then like I think you're not gonna get new wrestling fans. Like if you have a wrestling fan that lives in your area and has never been to your show, that night of, like, let's say All In is probably not going to be the night where you get them to come to your show for the first time. But other than that, I don't. You gotta just run when you run, because there is something to be said of keeping those same dates that your fans like and are used to, and they know you're gonna be here at this time on this day. Um, you can always cancel the show, but I personally wouldn't cancel a show because there's another show 8 states away.
Grillo.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think, like JMO said, your fans are going to come, whether it's, you're in Georgia and Georgia football's on, or Alabama's on, or you got a PLE or a pay-per-view. Your fans are going to come. If they're diehards, they'll show up to the show. Now, yeah, like you said, some of the new fans may not come. They'd rather go to a state fair. They'd rather go see the Bulldogs play, or they'd rather watch the pay-per-view live. But I mean, at the end of the day, your fans are your fans for a reason, because they love your product. They love the wrestlers that they see, or they hate the wrestlers that they see, and they're going to show up. So those things are in the back of your head, but I don't think it affects attendance too much for some shows. And again, like Jameson said, you can watch anything at any time. You don't have to watch everything live anymore. It's almost better to watch some stuff on a delay, because then you could just skip through it.
Yeah, you fast forward everything. You might actually halfway watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can skip all the stuff that you're not interested in. Yeah.
And then we had the Monday Mayhem last night, and I think every time we've done a Monday Mayhem, Scott will come up and be like, I don't know if we're gonna get anybody here tonight. It's gonna be tough. There's this going on. There's this show going on. And then about halfway through the show, he comes up and he's like, I can't believe how many people are here. You do it every month. They come, man. They're gonna come.
Yeah, let me ask you, because one of the things we've had conversations on other shows and stuff with about people are creatures of habit. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that, look, we'll go to One Fall specifically, but most promotions we run the first Friday or the second Saturday, or they have a date they usually hit, and people just get used to that being their date, and they just habitually get into that rhythm of, oh, it's the first Friday, we go to this show. It's the second Friday, whatever, what's in their local area. So, there's going to be somebody probably that goes, I want to stay home and watch X. But as across the general, I'm with you. I watch everything as much as possible, like later, not live anymore. I've actually grown into that creature of habit, actually doing it at a different time. Like I can watch I'll start PLE's pay-per-views when I get home from the indie show.
Yeah.
So then I can get to oh, I don't really want to care. I don't care, whatever. Plus, by the way, social media is great. It'll tell you this match was really good. You should probably watch that match, and you're like, I wasn't going to watch it, but if it's so great, I'll stop and see what's going on and then go, they were wrong, and then keep going or whatever, But you know what I mean? It's like, it used to be like, oh, I've got to miss. Look, are there going to be exceptions out there? Sure, there are things that happen that even I go, no, I'm going to stay home and catch this one live. But that's, a very, very minute percentage of things nowadays versus what it used to be in the past. So.
Sure. And I think it's, there's also something with you say it about the boys where it's like, guys get worried if they take a night off at a show, if somebody's going to take my spot and the fans don't care about me anymore because I wasn't there and now they like this guy instead. Could be the same thing for an indie show. If I don't run this night, then fans are used to coming and then they take that night off. Who's to say next month they're like, you know what? I'm just going to skip it again.
That's the creatures of habit thing, right? Like we were just talking about. You take somebody out one cycle, then the next time they almost have to convince themselves to come back again because they're like, oh, yeah, they didn't run last. Especially when you're a monthly show and you take a month off, that's a tough one. I tell people all the time that's a tough one because momentum is a real thing.
Yeah.
Look, speaking of momentum, let's get into this week's weekly category and jump into – talk about momentum. It's the hot hand. It's something here in Georgia where we talk about, look, we're not saying it's the most, it's literally who has momentum right now. And look, going into this weekend, we're going to talk a little bit about momentum next weekend when we talk about something that I'm not going to even talk about it this week. But if somebody's got a lot of momentum, you guys are, heavily involved there at One Fall. Within the past few weeks, Center Stage return announced, the Rome venue show, some new venues I was told not to talk about on the air today, going to be coming out sooner than later. As many shows that are running, and we're still talking about new venues and new shows, does anybody have more as a promotion right now than One Fall?
No, I mean, we run... we have more shows than the national television shows at this point because they don't do house shows anymore. So I think One Fall Wrestling, we're working more than any other company in the country right now. Let's put that out in the headlines. Wrestling Inc. and what are the dirt sheets called? Fightful. Pick that scoop up. One Fall wrestlers wrestle more than everybody.
Hey, I like that. I'll make a few calls, see if we can get that.
Yeah. You got connections.
Yeah. I mean,
hold on. I got one more to add. Grillo, I do want to ask you because I didn't even think about this. How does it not make my notes? The Scott D'Amore announcement, also, by the way, in the past week or so that came out. So, speak to that. How crazy is that?
I mean, that's just having someone like Scott on board with One Fall. It takes an already great product and makes it even better. He's got a great mind for the business. We've seen a lot of the things he's done. And now to have him at One Fall, I mean, the best just get better. That's just what it is. When you're that good, you're just always looking for ways to get better.
Yeah. And little spoiler for you, Nick, because I know you're probably going to come to the next TV taping on the 1st. Mm-hmm. You are going to walk into that building and it's going to look completely different than the last time you were in that building. And it's going to look absolutely insane. I'm telling you, when you see what has been happening there, it's like walking into AEW Dynamite or something. It's really incredible what QT and Scott are doing over there. It's going to be a hell of a TV show.
And Greg did a great job of selling it, and I almost think he undersold it for how insane it's going to be. It's going to be completely different from the last taping.
I'll be there for sure. I already got it on my calendar. Got a Sunday show always requires approval around the house, so I've already got the approval, so that was good. So I'll be there on the 1st. Check it out. I'm kind of eager to see it. It's a crazy weekend in general for you guys. I know that whole weekend, and we'll talk about that next week. But next weekend,
the game's coming in next week too.
Yeah, it's a loaded weekend for one fall. So check out next week when we're kind of going into that a little bit. We'll probably have to leave a little more cushion there for that segment when we get into that, because there's lots of stuff going on. But let's jump ahead. Also on our list this week, look, we talked about Nick Kalen, Triple Crown champion, SCA, whatever, picks up a huge win at Southern Fried as well in an 8-man it was an 8-man tag elimination match. Picks up a big win there. He's also chasing some belts out of a couple other promotions, so he's got a lot of momentum, obviously across the state. And I know Grillo, you've talked about how highly you think of him as well as far as Nick Kalen's ability here in Georgia, right?
Yeah, I mean, someone booked the singles match. I mean, I was talking shit on the GCW post, challenging him for the title. Any promotion that has Nick Kalen as a singles wrestler, I want to fight him. For the love of God, someone let me fight him. I've only got to do it once. He couldn't beat me, so we had to get a double count out at Southern Fried. So any promotion that has Nick Kalen as a champion or has Nick Kalen as a singles wrestler, bring me in. Let me wrestle him. Let me beat him up. But yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about Nick.
So SCA book it for all 3 titles, right? It's just
all
for one match, all 3 times. Also hitting the list this week on the hot hand, Dominic Stuckey. He is currently, by the way, I know you're not the biggest fan, so I'm going to go to Jameson on this one. He's the PCW champion. He's the Wrestle America Liberty champion, the Southern Fried Classics champion. So obviously you got to say right now he's got a lot of momentum moving forward, here in the state of Georgia, with all those titles.
Yeah, I mean, those are all heavyweight titles too. So there's an argument to say he might be higher than Nick Kalen on the list, because one of Nick's is a tag title, right? So you can elevate whichever, but 3 titles either way, whatever titles they are. Both of those guys, very impressive to hold 3 titles at one time.
Absolutely. Kraken Pro Wrestling. Look, this, a lot of influence from Jacked Jameson coming in on the hot hand this month as we're talking about Kraken Pro Wrestling. The show sizes keep getting better. Look, they're getting really creative. The promotion side, they're getting really creative about they let fans vote when they try out a new wrestler there, whether the fans want them added to the roster permanently or not, so they can actually stay on board there at Kraken. They've got just really creative ways. They're not only increasing the size of their crowd, the dollar that is associated with the size of that crowd, and creative ways to increase a few perks to add to those seats. The stories, the digestible 30 minutes, as Jameson talks about, got a lot of momentum across the state. They get a lot of buzz, from a week-to-week basis, specifically here on the Tapped In show. So they obviously make your list, right, Jameson?
Yeah, for sure, of course. Kraken, let's get it cracking, baby.
Last but not least, we'll start with Grillo. Jamie Holmes. He's the Nerd U champion in a match named after himself, the Grizzly Experience match. You had to be there. I was there in person and saw it. Ladders, boards, barbed wire, I mean, you name it, chairs, it was all involved. And Jamie Holmes walks out with a title there at Nerd U.
Yeah, dude, we talked about it off air. We're all big fans of Jamie. Thank God he won this match. It would have been a little bit of an issue if he didn't win the match kind of named after him. Also, for the love of God, never put me in. There was a lot of weapons you said there. I don't want to be anywhere near that. But, hey, good for him. He deserves it. He's a hard worker. Nerd U champion, baby. Good for him.
Yeah, I think anytime somebody becomes a champion, they deserve to come on the hot hand list or whatever list we're doing that day. Winning championship titles should always be acknowledged and recognized. And Jamie, behind the scenes, not to blow up your spot, but just a great guy, works really hard. He's always helpful. We put people over all the time for helping with setup and breakdown, and Jamie's there from start to finish all the time with whatever you need done. He's happy to do it. So it's always great to see somebody that works really hard come up with a huge accomplishment like winning a championship title in a promotion. So shout out to the Georgia Grizzly. And he's not even hibernating. It's the middle of winter, and he's out here working.
Hey, he's a bear who doesn't sleep, right? He's the Grizzly that doesn't sleep. He never rests. Look, speaking of never resting, to get on a Mount Rushmore list, you actually probably never have to sleep. You never have to rest. And I don't even know, by the way, this is an odd subject. I don't even know how to change to ask this question. For Mount Rushmore this week, I didn't even make the category. I literally started the notes and it was there. So I'm like, I'll play. You went into my wheelhouse, so I'm game. So we did our Mount Rushmore of superheroes, and I asked the question as I'm looking at the list: is it my favorite? Is it who I think the world from the world perspective, Mount Rushmore? So I just blended the two and have my arguments for each. We have to be careful. This segment could go 30 minutes if we're not careful because of the way we all are with superheroes.
Because we're a bunch of nerds.
Yeah, I mean, can you not tell by the giant display case of nerd stuff I have right behind me?
Yeah, I have a Jurassic Park set up and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cup right here.
And every week, everybody stares at a bunch of comic books behind me. So, I mean, I think it screams the pretty obvious. Let's do this a little bit different since there's three of us here. We'll start with you, Grillo. You give yours. Well, just give us all four. Try to, if you want to plead a case or whatever, because we're going to have some overlap, so it'll kind of speed up as we go through the list. But you could start with yours and just kind of go through yours.
Yeah, listen, we're going to get in an argument with number 4 of mine, but I don't want to hear anything about it. I'm going with Spider-Man 1-1. I mean, listen, I got it marked on me for life. I'm a huge Spider-Man guy. Always have been, always will be. I think a general consensus here, Batman. I mean, come on. Freaking Bruce Wayne, Batman. He's got to be in the Mount Rushmore. Iron Man, big Iron Man fan. And here's where it's going to get contentious, and I don't care what anyone says. This guy's a superhero in my book. Tommy Oliver. He was the Green Ranger. He was the White Ranger. He was the Red Ranger twice, and he was the Black Ranger. Power Rangers count as superheroes. They're always saving the day and saving the city.
Jameson, I can't. I just can't.
Look, I got the helmets. I mean, come on. Tommy Oliver's the greatest Power Ranger.
He recently passed, correct?
Yeah, 2 years ago, I believe.
All right, I'll allow it. I know that's your idol.
That's my guy.
We'll allow it, Nick. We'll let it slide.
Hey, it's your list. It's your list.
Doesn't really fit the parameters, but
he's a superhero.
Nah, you know what we're talking about, Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
You know what you did.
I know.
Hey, everybody tries to slide their personal agenda at times. We get it. It's wrestling. We understand.
Yeah.
Jameson, your list is?
So my God of Thunder, baby, Thor. How do you not have the God of Thunder on your Mount Rushmore? Hulk, most powerful. Star-Lord, my personal favorite. Peter Quill, just a cocky dickhead, kind of reminds me of somebody. And then of course same as Grillo, Batman, just because it's fucking Batman, bro.
I like the Star-Lord pick.
Yeah, I was not shocked when I saw it on the list in the least. I was like, that tracks 100%.
Batman.
But Batman, look, there's great debate with another character that's on my list. Batman, because he's just a guy, right? There's no real superpowers. It's like his superpowers, he's rich, and he trains really hard, and he does the work. But everybody likes the dark and the whole, we went through that era. I'll do my list. Obviously, Superman. He's the most, arguably the most popular superhero of all time. He's the one that started it all, etc. So in my opinion, he's got to be on your list. There just happens to be a whole wall over here that's filled with, death of storybook, because there's just multiple first, second print, third print, fourth print, newsstand, all on that whole wall. That's what that whole wall is. I was a Superman guy through and through. But Batman was the yin to the yang, where, hey, we're going to have a darker character eventually, so kind of goes back and forth. Wolverine, just because over the years he has completely established that he is the guy when it comes to, it's the cool, Marvel guy for the longest time. And then ironically, I'm going to throw one in. So most people may not know this. I used to own a comic book store back in the day. I had one for a couple years, when I was younger, prior to marriage, when you could get away with that kind of stuff. And I in that window, I really became.
I thought he got worried because his wife heard him start.
Me too.
No. I really became. She's not. She's gone.
Oh shit! Did she hear me?
No, she's gone. She always leaves before we record, so that's always a positive.
Thanks everybody for coming to the podcast.
Yeah. So I became a big Green Lantern fan, and I get the flaws and whatever. But it used to be. This is super. By the way, this is going to be a weird twist of our podcast where I say something that sounds like Aw. Somebody used to ask me, like, why are you such a Green Lantern fan, and why should my kids be a Green Lantern fan? And I said, well, the whole point of the ring is the ring's as powerful as the person who wears it. You can do anything you want as long as you have the willpower to make it happen. And so I used to say, you should teach your kids. That's a great lesson to teach them that, hey, you could do anything you want as long as you have the willpower and the desire to do it. Some great stories. I'll share those on a nerdy podcast about books to read, about where all of this kind of comes from and my take as far as why I believe that. But so I became a Green Lantern.
The ring doesn't make the man.
Correct, 100%. That is it. And that's why Hal Jordan is, by the way, the greatest Green Lantern of all time. That's a whole other podcast that we'll jump into. So our Mount Rushmore is all over the place. Jameson, Thor, Hulk, Star-Lord, Batman, Grillo, Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man, and Tommy Oliver. And we'll let it slide. And then with mine, Superman, Green Lantern, Wolverine, and Batman, the yin and the yang, as I always talk about when I talk about my Mount Rushmore. Lots of us. Send your hate mail, because everybody's going to hate that list in one form or fashion. tappedoutpod@gmail.com. You can send us yours and argue with us. I get it. It's just
they just got to complain about Grillos.
Probably. Listen, I was gonna go Green Arrow, but specifically the Stephen Amell version. That's it. No other Green Arrow.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. But I do like the show.
I like that me and Nick are quietly judging all of you.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite shows. I loved Arrow. I thought it was so good. I mean, it was great, and then it stunk, and then it was okay.
Yeah.
And it was finished.
Yeah, it had a couple seasons where it was like, I liked Flash. I liked Flash better than Arrow.
Flash is actually one of my favorites. I mean, I've got a whole run of Flash over here on the side. Like, Flash and Green Lantern are kind of like my guys, and everybody's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah. I mean, everybody jumps on board on the others. I just, I'm a big fan.
It's better to be a fan of someone like that than to be like, oh, yeah, Superman or Batman's my favorite. Like, yeah, of course, that's everyone's favorite. Like, What's your real favorite?
Yeah, that's it. Like, and that's my argument. Everybody asks me, like, what do you collect? I'm like, I'm a minority in the sense that I collect more DC stuff than Marvel stuff. I love Justice League versus Event. I prefer Justice League. I love, Flash, Green Lantern, and, so those specific characters.
So, DC and AEW do some collabs, so me and Grillo love DC more too.
Yeah.
No, I was sucked in when I saw that. I was like, dude, I'm all in. I mean, literally, no pun intended. Like, I'm like, sign me up, dude. I love that collaboration, and I hope I see more of it. Hopefully, we start seeing when the movies start getting fired up again real good. We get some of that.
Yeah, I heard. Are they doing a crossover? I heard some. Is that real?
We will see.
I need more Rick Flag Sr. DC. Make it happen. Put Frank Grillo in more stuff as Rick Flag Sr.
Yes,
great character.
Hire his cousin and put him in stuff.
Please, for the love of God.
Stunt double. He could be the stunt double.
I'll take the bumps.
Of course you will. That's our Mount Rushmore. Like we said, we appreciate everybody. tappedoutpod@gmail.com. Now let's jump into the wrap-up segment here on this week's show, where we kind of do a quick making the drives. Yes, folks, it is a much faster, much more accelerated version, hopefully, as we look around the whole scene in Georgia wrestling. Friday night, January 23rd. I know you got something on the 22nd. You're probably going to throw that in there. I know it's not a full-out show like the one on the 23rd. One fall running.
Don't worry about it. It's not for everybody. It's private show, only for cool people. So
there you go. The 23rd, you guys will be in Athens at the Aiken Ford Arena. Pre-game show for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Should be a fun show. I think I'm actually going to make that one on a Friday. I mean, up there to the Athens.
Oh, brother, it's going to be a good time. You can come and watch the show. It's just outside in the plaza. So if you have a ticket to the game, come stop by, hang out, watch the show for a little bit before you go in. It's only an hour. It's an hour right before the show, and then we end. You go inside, puck drops. Here we go. Last time they tried to have Michael Soler do the puck drop. I jacked him up because who is he? This is my time, baby. This time, I believe we're going to have, spoiler alert, special guest Satnam Singh will probably be doing the puck drop. If you want to see the puck drop from 1,000,000 feet in the sky, might break the ice from that elevation. And then getting into the show actually beforehand, kicking things off. Also, it's outside in the plaza, so I don't know if you need a ticket. You might be able to just walk up and hang out and watch the show for an hour. Scott, don't get mad at me. Open. I don't know the order of the matches. I do know the matches though. There's going to be a massive battle royal going on. There will also be a women's scramble match for Remy Reed's women's one fall championship title. That'll be interesting. And then the main event of the evening will be, I believe, myself, Elijah Drago, the superstars, baby, versus your one fall heavyweight champion, Brady Booker, your one fall breakout champion, Vi Morales, Mark Davidson, and Tyler Shoup, and that piece of trash, Claudius, who I'm going to put in a pot and boil after this match. I'm telling you what, you want to step in the ring with old Jacked Jameson. I'm going to snap those claws. I'm going to cook your ass. I'm going to slather you up in butter. And I'm going to share you for dinner with my good buddy Grillo, because I know Italians love seafood.
See, what a friend. What a friend.
See, it's all coming around. It's getting better as the show goes on. You're in a better mood. We're glad to hear that.
My Celsius is kicking in now.
There you go. There you go. Look, also on Friday, Action Wrestling. They're in Fayetteville. That is their Lion Creek Bus Barn venue. Carly Bravo, somebody you guys are familiar with, he will be challenging Darian Bingston for the Action World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, that's a banger.
Did you see the promo Darian cut on Carly on his? Oh, hey, I texted him. I go, hey, that's one of the best promos that I've seen in I don't know how long. So if you haven't,
I'm gonna have to go watch that.
Go to Darian's Instagram.
As soon as we get off this podcast, I'm gonna go check that out. But yeah, that match for sure will be a banger. Those guys have been training together since Carly started, at least, I think, and yeah, they that's gonna be awesome. I kind of want to go watch that.
Hey, you gotta tip your cap to the young man as a champion. You know, like stepping up and going toe to toe with Carly Bravo is a challenge on itself. But then to put that extra seasoning on it by kind of like you said, going out there and talking a little smack prior to it, it's a ballsy move for sure.
You want to talk about a challenge going out with Carly Bravo? Try going out to a bar with Carly Bravo. Now that's a challenge. You're gonna leave broke and super drunk, but you will have the best time of your life.
That's what they say. That is what they say for sure. Also on Friday, SCA, we talked about it. They run there every single Friday. What's in store for Nick Kalen? Who's next in line for him? Is it Stevie Ray Frost? Is it Alexander Lev? Who knows?
Where is my finger going?
SCA, hit him up. If he's available on a Friday, hit him up. He wants a shot at that stuff. All those titles, 1, 2, or all 3 of them at one time. You'll find a partner, right? Somebody will jump in the car with you and ride up there and challenge for those tag goals.
Listen, I mean, Jambo, you busy? You need a tag title?
What day is it?
They run on every Friday pretty much. So there you go. If you're not getting on a plane, maybe, right? But if you're getting on a plane, you might be too busy.
I'll probably be at one fall, but who knows? Sometimes
we got connections everywhere.
Sometimes we have Fridays off, man. I can maybe I can sneak out and come win a tag title with you.
You can double shot, dude. You can do the Athens show and then.
What I heard, people don't care for double shots because it might stretch your show out.
lots of issues when you get to double shotting. That's your people juggling cards and all of those things. It gets tedious to some people. Are not real thrilled.
Maybe if I do one fall first, and then it's the other company's problem.
Tell them you only work main, so you go on last, so that way you got time to get over there.
Right.
Saturday the 24th, Apex. Your buddy Jameson, Elijah Drago. He is the Apex champion. He's going to take it on a guy.
260, baby.
He's taking on a guy you also are familiar with. Chad Skywalker's driving down, to Augusta to challenge Elijah Drago for the Apex championship. Should be fun, entertaining, and a match.
That's going to be a fight, buddy. Those boys. That's going to be a fight.
Any picks, Grillo? Drago and Skywalker. I mean, look, I kind of know where we all have to lean, right?
I mean, yeah, I just, not even due to favoritism, but how do you even ever bet against Drago? I'm a betting man. I'm not the best of betting man, so maybe don't take my advice. But if I were to bet, I'm going Drago. I mean, that's where the money is.
Yeah, 6'4", 260, Ukrainian-born thriller. My boy Elijah Drago, baby. He'll be walking out champ, but not to take anything away from Chad Skywalker. Elijah's not going to be walking out of there clean. He's definitely going to be walking out with some bumps, bruises, and maybe even a little bit of blood. Who knows? Chad is very physical, and he brings it, and he don't care how big you are.
The women will also be there as the Kelsey Reagan, the women's champion. She'll be defending her title as well. So both of the promotions championships will be on the line Saturday down in Augusta at Apex. Also on Saturday, Premier All-Star. They are in their Carrollton location. They kind of bounce back between there and Buchanan, but they will be at the Carrollton location. AJ Black ended one of the absolute longest reigns. When he ended Stevie Ray Frost's title reign, he's just going to put out an open challenge. Let me ask you a question as a champion. Why would you ever do that? Why do you put the open challenge out, having no clue who's going to walk through the curtain? And
to
it
show
could be
your
anybody.
balls.
Are balls bigger than brains sometimes? I mean, is that a problem?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're a champion, let's start here, and then we worry about the other stuff later.
Sometimes it's an ego thing, man. Sometimes you got to prove it to yourself.
And that's the case. Alexander Lev will be defending the Southern Honor title on that show, by the way, as well, down at Premier All-Star. That'll be kind of the headline matches there. Some guys you're familiar with, they're going to be up at Cornelia, Georgia, Total Aggression as Dangerous Affairs, a tag team that you guys are familiar with. Alex Gottel, Cody McCulley, as they will be taking on Perfect Vision, which neither guy I think has Perfect Vision in Cody McCulley or Alex Gottel. But hey, you guys are familiar with them, and there's should be one hell of a show. By the way, Seth Stevens, a guy that's kind of made a real big name. He's jumped in here at One Fall as well. Should be interesting. Want your take?
I like all three of those guys, man. Dangerous Affairs are good dudes. They're little scrappers. They'll get in there. They'll jack some people up. They'll pull your nose. They'll fish hook you. They'll step on your toes, crack your fingers, whatever they got to do. Seth Stevens, other side of that, he's a God-fearing man. Good kid. Just kids seem to be a big fan of him. Families take to him really well. He's a good little baby face there. He's going to develop into a strong talent, I think.
And Grillo, I'm not sure if you're free on a Saturday, but the David Garrison Invitational Rumble winner gets the Golden Hubcap. I mean, it's award weekend. Is there any better award than the Golden Hubcap?
Listen, if voting was still open, I may have to go in and boost my case up a little bit, but Golden Hubcap, that's a pretty cool award.
Next year, I want that Golden Hubcap next year. I got to go to Texas Saturday, but I'm telling you, next year I'm coming for that Golden Hubcap, baby. Cody, cap me up.
Hey, reach out to the powers that be there at Total Aggression and tell them you want in next year for that Golden Hubcap for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Last but not least, Hope Championship Wrestling. They're running in Thomaston, Georgia that day. Fried Eddie, Sean Nelson, Eddie Honcho, whole lot more. Look, I don't know about you guys. I'm super entertained by Eddie Honcho. If you've never had the privilege of watching him wrestle, he makes me laugh every single time.
I've had to wrestle against Eddie Honcho a bunch. I don't find it very entertaining, but I do love me some Fried Daddy, baby. Fried Daddy, go kick some ass.
Right there. It's a big Fried Daddy house.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hope Championship Wrestling. Check them out in Thomaston, Georgia. But while you're checking out shows around, hey, all of this information, I know we go through it pretty quick. It is on Patreon, patreon.com/TapToutPod. All this information is absolutely free. The Indy Rewind, the Making the Drives. I went through everything earlier, so I'm not going to make it a 1-minute segment as we go through all of the benefits again. Just want to remind everybody that it's there. Free, paid memberships, all of that stuff to subscribe, and so jump in. Can't go wrong with free, right? That's the easy way. It's a one-stop shop. You can get all of the shows there. You can get all of the content that's extra, the bonus, all that kind of stuff right there. Patreon.com/.
More wrestling content. More wrestling.
And look, we talked about this a little bit. We're going to get out of here in a second, but we did talk about this a little bit off the air at some shows as passing. We've talked about some of that extra stuff we are going to start bringing to YouTube this year, also to the Patreon, where it's little football. You see, we pepper in a little bit of comic book stuff, movies, TV, all this kind of fun stuff. We want to actually start bringing on some guys, introducing you guys to some talents out there across the state of Georgia, and kind of letting you see them in a different light a little bit as well, so they kind of get a little bit, hey, what do they do outside of wrestling, not just what they do in the ring. So that should be fun.
I think the first guest, we kind of talked about it last night, needs to be Vari Morales. You just need to keep your finger on the mute button.
Yeah, I got to figure out the edit button. Good thing is we don't do anything live. We record everything, so I could look. There have been episodes in the past where I just go, "Hey, I appreciate you coming on. that thing's never airing. Just want you to know that. Like, it's just not going to make the air. And then I put it behind like a $50 paywall level on the Patreon. So if anybody wants to pay $50 to go see it, they can.
Nice.
But yeah, there's I have to tell you the stories of I have an episode that has never been heard and never been seen, only except the 3 people that were on that podcast, and it's literally set. I think I have it to release sometime in like 2035. I think is when I scheduled it to release.
Nice.
You know,
is that the one with Brady and Jimmy?
No, that one will never. That the betting one will probably never. No, we've joked about that one. That'll probably never. I did put that one out there at some point on our Patreon, so that was cool. But hey, man, I appreciate you guys getting here. I know Grillo, you're a busy man. You got a lot of Cartello, Grillo, the Crusade, all of those things. You got a lot of business to take care of here in the next few weeks. You probably got a plane to catch or something to go take care of some business and stuff. So I appreciate you jumping on. Of course, Jacked Jameson, once again, now the permanent co-host here on the Tapped In Show. Real quick before we get in here, final thoughts before we get out of here for this week's Tapped In Show, man. Start with you, Grillo.
Hey, listen, just sign up for the damn Patreon. It's free, guys. It's free. But also, come out and support. One Fall's got a lot of shows. There's a lot of places that are running. One Fall is going to have the next, I don't even know how many months. They're going to be the biggest months. Each show is going to get bigger and bigger. So 1FW Live, secure your tickets now for every show that's available for tickets. Come out, enjoy it. It's going to be awesome. Every show is going to be amazing. You never know who's going to step through the doors of One Fall.
Jameson?
Go fuck yourselves.
and with that, we say, hey, thanks again for supporting indie wrestling all over the place. We'll see you next week here on the Tapped In Indie Podcast.